Hey, so I'm back. It's been a little bit, it's probably been a couple weeks actually since I've been able to post. I kept thinking I would get back on here, and then we've been traveling and been out of town, and I could not find a little window of time. If you know me at all, you may or may not recognize this wallpaper. I might be hiding in the floor of my guest bathroom because it's quiet. But desperate times call for desperate measures. I'm going to read some passages from, I've got my Bible here, and I'm going to read some passages from Psalm 111, verses 7 through 9, and then I'm going to talk about it. The works of his hands are truth and justice. All of his instructions are trustworthy. They are established forever and ever, enacted in truth and in uprightness. He has sent redemption to his people. He has ordained his covenant forever. His name is holy and awe-inspiring. And I have written next to this in my notes that the main part, the works of his hands are truth and justice. All his instructions are trustworthy. And the title, of my Bible up here says Praise for the Lord's Works. So I have been kind of having a hard time lately. I don't know how long lately I mean, but for a while, of doubting the Lord that he's going to come through in each specific situation. And I see him coming through for other people, and yet I keep doubting that he's going to come through for me. So for example, today a friend of mine got a job teaching at a local school, and I told her, I was like, oh, you're the answer to prayers that I've been praying. I've been praying that God would fill that spot for teaching, and then God did it. And then I made a joke. I was like, God's really good at answering my prayers for other people, and then not so much for myself. And then I left, and I felt very convicted because he's really good at answering my prayers. He's really good at being faithful. So this part about who he is reminded me, and so I wrote this down, that God has a track record with us, even when we are unaware he is doing it. And so when I look back at the past, like I think I've talked about in another video about making lists of the things that God has done, he only does come through. He only does answer prayer requests. And there's something in my head that just keeps getting forgetful. There's something in my head that keeps, well, this is the time he's going to forget. This is the time that he's not going to do the thing that I'm asking, maybe because I want it too much, or I start questioning my motives, thinking, well, he's not going to come through this time because maybe I'm in sin this time. Maybe this time I want it too badly, so he's not going to give it to me. And that's not the kind of God that we serve. That's not the kind of God that is talked about in Scripture. But all throughout the Bible, what is he about? A, he's about his glory. And B, then he delights to love on us and for us to come to him in humility and bring our requests before him. Does that mean that he's going to answer the things that I'm asking for exactly like I want them? No. But it does mean that he has a track record of faithfulness, of following through, of showing up, of remembering, of being there consistently. He has a track record of being there consistently. And so just being really honest with y'all, I have a lot of prayer requests before him. My son just got back from being gone pretty much for a year, and now is trying to figure out what to do. And I feel heavy about being a good mom for him and pointing him in the right direction. And we are putting 2 of our kids back in school, and it makes me, is that the right decision? And then we're homeschooling another. God, is that the right decision? And trying to figure out our finances. And my husband has a new job. God, are you going to provide financially? Are you going to help us get out of debt? Are you going to help me, stuff with my parents' health? It's like all the tape, right? It goes on and on. And I'm like, he's going to forget us. He's not going to show up. And I have to keep going back to this. I just want to beat my head over it and be like, stop doubting, stop questioning if he's going to show up. So I'm just telling you what I'm personally walking through in this, that I know in my head, logically I know what his word says, but I'm struggling to connect it, to trust it. And so ultimately it's not a God character issue. And I don't even know if it's a faithfulness issue, because I want to believe. But I think about that verse, in the New Testament when he was like, Son of David, have mercy on me. And then there's another part when he says, help my unbelief. So I'm at the point where I'm like, I have unbelief. I'm struggling to trust you, God. Can you help me? And I think even in that prayer, he can. So just want to leave that with you, that he has a good track record with you. And I think the enemy wants to confuse us and distract us with maybe the ways that we feel like God has let us down. And my challenge to myself and to you is to remember, where have you seen him be faithful and show up and keep his promises? Because that's the kind of God he is. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.